So if you're one of the millions of people in America that are struggling to feed yourselves or your family, well, Trump's USDA chief has a message for you. Get a job, you bum. On Wednesday, Sonny Perdue, who is Trump's USDA chief, released an outline for what he wants to do for the next farm bill. And boy, it is not good. Now, the farm bill, among other things, of course, while subsidizing agriculture, also authorizes spending on the SNAP program. Now, SNAP, of course, is known as food stamps. So around 41 million Americans right now currently receive food stamps. A lot of them are children, as I'm going to break down, disabled adults, and, of course, working people. Now, the numbers on that, of course, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, among SNAP households with at least one working age non-disabled adult, more than half of those work while receiving SNAP benefits. So again, among these households, most people work. At least half, or more than half of them. Now, despite that, Perdue, as you're going to see in this letter, is going to peddle the false claim that most people on food stamps don't work and therefore are lazy and don't actually deserve the benefits. He said it's evident that there are able-bodied adults without dependents who are on the food stamp program, who we believe it is in their best interest and their family's best interest to move into an independent lifestyle. So, translation, get those lazy bums off our welfare. That's what that means. Now, he also said, during the last downturn, it became a lifestyle for some people. We don't want it to become permanent. Well, number one, nobody wants to become permanent, right? Especially the people on it. Most people that are on food stamps are, for one, they're not on food stamps all the time. You can look up the data on that one. I believe it was the Center for Budget Policy and Priorities had a lot of great information on that, how long people actually stay in the food stamp program, and it's actually not long because it is mostly temporary. People lose their job, they might have to get on food stamps for a few months, and then, oh look, they find another job, and they get off the program. This is usually what happens. So, but look, what he's saying is, after the downturn, yes, some people did get some help, and maybe they needed it, but now they've made it a lifestyle. Well, look, here's the thing. A lot of people still haven't recovered fully since the last downturn. Yes, jobs have come back. Employment is actually up. That's wonderful. Problem is, what jobs have came back? It's not your factory jobs that went away that have come back. No. What's actually here, what's being created more often are jobs that are low skill, low wage. These are minimum wage jobs. Look, even some of the factory jobs that have come back start you out at a lower wage than you had before. So, the people that used to have a middle-class lifestyle or used to be able to live off a factory salary, they can no longer do so. And yet they work, and they work 30, 40 hours a week, if they're able to, at these jobs that are minimum wage jobs. And so, of course, they have to get on welfare, right? Of course, they have to get on food stamps. Those are the people, again, that work at Walmart, that work at McDonald's, all these different fast food restaurants, and they still don't make enough to survive. So that's the problem. And with wages being so low, of course, some families do calculate that maybe they're better off financially by turning down a slightly higher paying job. Now, that sucks. You actually want to get people out there, you want to get them out to work. But if the job pays marginally better and you lose your food stamp benefits, which is an extra, $200, $300 a month, I think for an average family, well, that's a lot of money you're giving up. So that's a big problem. Now, that doesn't mean that we should take away food stamps or that they're too generous. No. Look, I've been on the program before when I was younger. So I used to remember what the booklets looked like. No, what this means, instead of taking it away, we should actually boost pay. We should actually, get a living wage. Look, the amount of money spent on food stamps and the amount of people on food stamps would be drastically reduced if we had a living wage. If there were good paying jobs out there that people were able to do. Now, look, there'll always be a need for the SNAP program. And it's a good program. And it's actually an incredibly efficient program. But look, if we actually help people, the millions of people, by ensuring that they actually get to the point of where they can actually survive without government help by having these good paying jobs, well, then we wouldn't have to spend so much, right? Now, are Republicans going to go that way? Of course not. Perdue suggests that the next farm bill should, quote, support work as the pathway to self-sufficiency, well-being, and economic mobility for individuals and families receiving the SNAP program. That sounds good, but what does that actually mean? It means cuts in the program without anything additional, without actually making sure that we have a living wage, without actually making sure that people have opportunity. They're not going to do anything about that. They're just going to give more corporations or more tax cuts to corporations. We just handed $1.5 trillion to the wealthiest corporations in the United States. Yes, some did some minor increases in wages. Hey, look, that's good, right? Good when they do wage increases, but a lot of the bigger ones, the ones that will benefit the most, what have they actually done? They've actually cut jobs, for one, after getting gigantic tax cuts, and they gave bonuses, which, again, are nice, but they're not as effective as wage increases. And actually, those bonuses make up a very, very small amount of what they would be spending. So it's actually an incredibly small amount. So when you have a company that makes billions of dollars a year and you have a one-time bonus that equals about $140 to $300 million, that's a very small amount. Sure, it's helpful to the workers as a one-time bonus, but what would actually help them and actually get these people out of poverty, because we talk about Walmart, right? And Walmart's one of the ones that happens to be giving out bonuses. If you've been there for 20 years, you get $1,000. That's nice. But what would actually help those workers far more is if you gave them a living wage. So, but as far as what the Republicans are going to do for the SNAP program, they want to shrink eligibility, they want to cut benefits, and of course, they also want to add work requirements to it. Now, Perdue said on Wednesday that tightened work requirements that push able-bodied adults into jobs or job training programs could be one way to save money on a new agriculture law. But of course, according to a recent USDA report, the food stamp program increasingly serves the working poor. Among SNAP age or working age SNAP recipients, 57% either work or are seeking employment, and 22% are disabled. So you have a large amount of people who are disabled, a large amount of people who are working, and the rest are kids. And Republicans, of course, want to cut that. You know why? It's because they can't help themselves. I think it's pretty obvious from not only from their rhetoric and their policy positions, that they have a contempt for the working poor. They have a contempt for regular people. They have a contempt for poor people. And they love corporations. And they show it every single day. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.